All right, guys, welcome back. We are watching ReZero Season 2, Episode 22. We are doing another episode so soon. Gonna do 2 a week, at least try to, and attempt to catch up before Season 4 comes out, which, is a long ways off. We're not even done with Season 2 yet, but, right? We're trying. We're trying. Probably not gonna catch up all the way to, I don't really want to be on the exact same episode as season 4 is airing. I mean, it's so far in the future, I mean, we'll see what we're doing. We got a few months until then anyway, right? So yeah, 2 episodes a week for the foreseeable future for now. That's the plan. That's the idea. Anyway, last time we got more stuff about Rosewall, my new favorite character apparently, and we have returned to the mansion. Frederica, Garfield met up, and Subaru needs to talk to Beatrice. And, oh god, I don't even know. I don't know how that's gonna go. I don't know what Subaru. I believe in him. I believe in his ability, I suppose, to say the correct things to her. I don't know what those things should be. I don't know how he should handle it. I really don't know. I guess we'll just have to see, right? We'll just have to see. And Amelia doing the next parts of the trial. That's the other thing, right? Yeah, Ram, Puck, fighting Rosewall. Lots of stuff going on right now. Most immediately pressing thing is Elsa being in the mansion here to murder everyone, though, I think. So, gotta deal with that. Anything else? Not really. I guess we'll just get into it. So we are watching season 2, episode 22. You can line your own copy up with this if you want to. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah, we really are just getting right into it. Oh, God. She is so scary. Ooh. She just feels so untouchable, God, that sound they always make when she swings. Oh, God, it literally has that still on his fist. Actually, yeah, come on. Don't want to die, but sure. Gotta get Rim. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Ah, she is just she's so unbothered and so like this. Oh, oh God. Yeah, she's just what is she? What is she? Uh, and she is not the only thing we need to deal with, too, right? We have Melee and the Witch Fiends. God, her face. You sure are. You sure are. Elsa Granhirt. Sure, sure. Let's introduce each other. Or introduce ourselves. Oh, man. The idea of, defeating Elsa just seems impossible. But, maybe. Yeah, I mean, just pick her up. Maybe we don't even need to say anything to her. Just pick her up, throw her over your shoulder, and walk out of here. Yeah. Time to leave. You don't need to. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Rosewall. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, God. And so she's just gonna accept it, right? Just resignation. It's literally, right? Yeah, yeah. Isn't that a good thing? Isn't it a good thing for your fate to be blank in my mind? Like, exactly, right? That means you can decide, right? Well, why does that matter? You can decide now. All alone. Ah, who is she? Yeah, God. Can't blame her. I mean, it's been hundreds of years, right? Hmm. And what did you do about that? Everyone leaves you behind. Hated to be alone. That you think it's the end? Oh, God. Yeah. That means you weren't nothing, I guess. Yeah. Oh, God. Just completely unable to take any agency over her own life. Thank you. Thank you, Subaru. Mm-hmm. Sure. Anything, right? Anything. Why not? She has to be infallible? Like... What does it matter what he wants you to say? Sure. Yeah. Rebellious phase. Under a contract. Ah. Right. Right. I mean, that's what she needs, right? Is to be selfish. Compromise on what's important. What does it mean to be that person, though, right? What do you think that person is, though? Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, right. Thank you. Thank you. No, that's what she needs to hear too, though. That's what she needs to hear too. Is that there is no that person. Oh, god damn it. There's no such thing as that person. There isn't, right? Oh, yeah. Right, right. Oh, right. God, I forgot all about that. Yeah, yeah. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, good. Where are we falling right now? Okay, and we have room. Thank God. Oh, they've really gotten close, huh? Shut up. Yeah, Oto, you're a big boy. Come on. Oto last. Yeah, yeah. Aw. Rem. Still alive. I yeah, we got some pressing issues, I imagine. Oh, good. The hippo thing that makes that noise. There she is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she knows Petra, right? Yeah, yeah, he knows you. Don't worry about it. What is that necklace? That symbol. I wonder if that means anything. I'm sure. I'm sure you will. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice. Exactly. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Ooh. Okay, okay. They both have their yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure, sure. And you only have to fight one of them right now. I mean, only had to fight Elsa too. But, I feel like Melee is probably easier to deal with than Elsa, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Right. What? Like, god, that's a great face this thing has. I'm sure it'll be very, very hospitable. I just don't understand what is up with this girl at all. Rock Piggy. Like, what is she doing? Like, what is she even, right? Oh, I don't know. I wonder. So, why are we going to Rosewall's? Okay, okay. Um, is that like the thing that he saw back in season one when everything was like frozen by Puck? Oh, great. Oh, good, good. The guilty low. Oh god, not the guilty low. Ooh. I don't know. Can Subaru take it on? Subaru and Oto, surely? Come on. What did he name his thing? Ooh. Back to Amelia. The present. Yes, yes. What is the stupid name that Subaru gave the the unseen fist? I don't even remember. It was something dumb. An unthinkable present. All right, all right. What is that going to be for Amelia? I wonder. I can imagine a lot of ways, right? Who is this? Oh, it's Fortuna. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense, right? It's like if none of that had ever happened, almost, right? Hmm. She still has the thing in her hair. Hmm. Oh, yeah. Being treated like a child still, It's interesting. Because Amelia was like forced to grow up so quickly. She didn't really have like a growing up phase, even. She was frozen in ice the whole time, you know? And then she was just suddenly out. Hmm. Such a reaction to looking in the mirror. What about it, I wonder? Oh, God. Man. And her voice is so different too, you know? Because she's, hasn't had to go through all the stuff she's had to, I imagine. Truly unthinkable. What? That maybe it'll embarrass her, though. Why would that offend her? God, don't drop it. Going on a picnic, I guess? What is her walking like that? Jesus. Ooh. Just everyone in the forest still alive, fine, yeah. Hmm. Very so different than how it was for Subaru, facing the present, right? So different. Hmm. Ah, it's almost like that's yeah. So sad, right? Seeing what her life could have been like. But it's also like it's almost like if she remained sheltered in a way, if she remained, she's so different. She's not the Amelia that we know, really, right? It's bittersweet, certainly. Hmm. Yeah. Everyone kind of knows already, but yeah. I don't think it would be any problem, probably. Who knows? This music. Yeah. Where did she learn them, huh? Oh, yeah. So idealized, so perfect, you know? Hmm. Oh, yeah. How would that happen? Oh, God, I wish we knew more about her parents. Yeah, exactly. If only, right? It's like this idealized version. It reminds me of like Beatrice's desire for that person, you know? It's just something perfect, you know? Something so idealized that it's impossible to not yearn for, I guess. Even the landscape, right? It's so beautiful. Who is that? Oh, Archie. Yeah. God, her voice is so different. I suppose. Yeah. Hmm. Kind of reminds me of Amelia. Yeah. Ooh. It's such a different version of unthinkable, compared to Subaru. She touches the hair thing. Interesting. Unknown whether he lives. I guess Amelia didn't know. Oh, I think everyone wishes for something like this. In a way, right? It'd be so much easier. He really was, right? Oh, God. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I wish Rim was in here too. Oh, yeah, held it all in. God. Yeah, yeah. You've learned so much, right? It's like, despite this not being your present, right? The person you are now is thanks to all of those people, The person you are now is thanks to all of those people, so. You have so many people to look up to. Hmm. Maybe the real goodbye. Ooh. Kidna, yeah. What is she thinking? Mm-hmm. So bittersweet, right? Her face, God. Oh. He's able to reject it? Interesting. Okay. God, that is the most human we have ever seen Echidna be, right? Man. Ugh. Watch them fade away. Watch yourself fade away in the reflection. Yeah, that mirror, right? Oh, right. Like who she would be without all of that, too? None of that happening either. A lot, I suppose. Well, in a way. Oh, God. Through the water. Ooh. Truly looking at herself. God, that was beautiful. Ooh. She really looks at herself like that? Man. Oh, that's so interesting, right? She thought about all these people that have influenced her, that she looks up to so much, that have affected her so much, other than Fortuna, you know? So yeah, she looks less like her than she thought in a way, right? Hmm. All these people cheering her on. God, so different than like the stuff with the snow and all of that, you know? One more to go. One more to go. God, even now, right? She feels like they'd be let down by that. It's a process. Mm-hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. It's like such an important difference, right? Hoping, all these people supporting you and hoping for your success versus like the pressure that you could feel from it, you know? Hmm. Yeah. Interesting. Will Amelia view that as just another person protecting her, or? Hmm. Interesting that being like half, uh, having like the beast in your blood makes you have like the pointed ears so often. It's like all of them, you know? Yeah. I guess she doesn't know. Yeah, sure. Okay, okay. Not disheartened by it at all. Gain strength from it. To face the future. What would the future be for her, I wonder? Yeah, she has her own job, her own duty, I suppose. Oh, yeah. But Roswell was wrong, of course. She doesn't need someone there. Right, yeah. Back in we go. Okay, okay. Okay. The future. The future. A regretted past, an unthinkable present. The disaster that is yet to come. Happiness reflected on the water's surface. Interesting. A disaster that is yet to come, or the disaster that is yet to come, right? Like a something very much following, you know? Yeah, yeah. Like makes me think of like doubt and uncertainty about your own actions and like what they're leading to, you know? In a way, I can imagine the future being one of the hardest ones to face, right? I imagine it could be for me. It would ignite all of this doubt within you about like the path that you're on right now, and what it will lead you to. It's easier in a way to face the past than a present that isn't, right? Because those are both things behind you or something that just isn't reality, But the future, can be anything, right? Which I guess that's Echidna's point, right? That's kind of Echidna's whole thing, you know? Interesting. I like this ending. Hmm. Okay. We will talk about the episode in the discussion. Okay, let's talk about the episode. The more I think about this episode, the more and more and more there is to say about it. I think there's actually so much stuff, particularly just all the stuff with Amelia facing the second part of the trial, her unthinkable present. Like, God, it's just every little thing, all the stuff about mirrors and reflections, and like, there's literally so much stuff that I want to talk about with this, and I'm going to do my very best to do that, right? Um, okay, so Amelia is facing her unthinkable present. I think it's very funny how, for Subaru, the first trial was like feel good, hang out with his family, have this like nice emotional resolution, all of this, very nice stuff for him, very nice and sweet. Then for Amelia, the first trial was horrible and destroyed her mentally for over and over and over again, and then she barely was able to like get through it. Maybe that's a bad way to put it, but it was rough. It was really rough for her to get through it at all, right? For the second trial, for Amelia, it's this nice sunshine happiness, oh, how nice everything is, all of this. For Subaru, it was the worst thing ever, right? Like, I said this back when Subaru experienced the second trial, how like it's like a cognito hazard to even think about that. To think about the possibility that Return by Death works like that every time it activates that world is left behind without him. Like I just don't even want to like that is awful, right? Like just not even something that should be entertained because of how terrible it would be to even think about that reality, right? So I just think that's funny how like the both of them they were very very different on what their issues were in a way, right? Now the future, the part of the next trial, I wonder the disaster, the inevitable disaster, it said something like that. I'll read the line again, right? But I don't know, that to me, for me personally, I think the third trial might be the hardest for me to face. I don't know, right? Like, because at least the past is behind you. And I think a lot of people obviously have things they regret in the past, right? Like the thing that can be difficult to accept about the past is you can it's just like accepting your actions that you've already taken, right? Um accepting the past, things that have happened to you, things that you did, and all of this, right? Knowing it's unchangeable, right? That's what's hard about that. The present's interesting, right? An unthinkable present, because it feels like for Amelia, this almost just feels like a continuation of that past, right? Like a continuation of what could have been, right? It's like if in the past for her, in the first part of the trial, she had to accept these things that had happened to her, well, now it's like for the present, it's like she has to accept the way things are now, right? It's like she has to be able to reject all of this, right? That what could have been, right? What maybe would have been, and accept the way things are now, I suppose, right? And I guess that's the point, right? That's why it's about the present, right? But for the future, I feel like depending on how it works, depending on the future that you see in the third trial, it could just ruin everything for you, Like everything in your life being dedicated to not seeing whatever it is that the third trial presents you, right? Like doubting all of your actions, wondering if you're on the right path, like oh God, all of these things, all because like the future that the third trial could show you could still come to pass, right? Like it could happen, That's that is why, for me, I imagine the third trial could be the worst, right? Like, God. So that worries me. That scares me. Um. Anyway, so Amelia's unthinkable present here is what her life could have been like, maybe would have been like, if, if Regulus had never showed up, I guess, Regulus and Pandora, right? If she had just kept living her life in the forest, had never been frozen, all of these things that disrupted everything hadn't happened. It's really sad to see her like this because she's so different. Her voice sounds different, her attitude is so different, right? She has real parental figures like Fortuna and Petalgeese. She, it's so different, right? Um she's so like childish, it feels, right? She's so less mature. It feels like her voice is higher pitched. She seems so different, because it's like as the Amelia that we know now, she had to grow up really fast, obviously, right? I mean, she was however old she was, like 10 or something when she got trapped in that crystal. She aged while she was trapped in it, but just physically, not mentally, right? And then she's been out for a few years, but it's like she missed all of that time that she should have had to grow up, right? She was just thrown back into life. She was forced to grow up pretty quickly without even having like real parental figures and anything around her. So it's almost like this Amelia now is almost like how she could be, maybe how she should be in a way, right? If her life really continued down like a normal trajectory. It's so sad because it's almost like the Amelia now, or at least maybe the Amelia shortly after she left the crystal, she was still like a child trapped in a body that had grown up. And it's like she just had to figure out how to live by herself. Obviously she didn't have her memories, but still it's like her mind was still Amelia's, right? It's just very sad. It's very sad seeing her like this, right? um yeah. And what it makes me think about is like how struggling and going through negative experiences and that kind of thing are a large part of what's made her the way she is now, right? Like, of course, right? So it's like part of this trial, part of this unthinkable present is like, okay, what if all of those bad things hadn't happened to her? The forest hadn't been frozen and all of this, right? Here's how it would be. And she'd be very different. She'd be a completely different person, basically, right? I mean, at the end of the trial, when she thinks about all of these people that have affected her so much that she looks up to, that she admires, and that she wants to be admirable in the eyes of, right? None of that would have happened. None of that would have happened at all if it wasn't for what happened in her past, right? If it wasn't for all of that, if the present was like this. Hmm. And she looks in the mirror. And I don't know, she can't see her reflection. She doesn't like what she sees, right? Which for one, like there's the obvious thing about, of course, Amelia has this whole thing about her appearance and who she is and what she is, right? She's a silver-haired half-elf, right? Like of course it makes sense that she doesn't like her reflection. She doesn't like looking in the mirror, right? It's something that's hard for her to do because of the horrible treatment she's received her entire life for what she is, who she is, and all of this. Just horrible, unfair, like prejudice against her, right? But I also just wonder if like her looking in the mirror right now, is it a realization? I guess it just depends. It just depends like what her mental state even is when she's in the trial, right? Like is it just some kind of realization that like this is wrong, that she isn't herself, that she isn't. I wonder, right? Because it makes me think too that it's like this is such an idealized fantasy of her being in the present like this, right? And the only little hint we get that obviously not everything's right is when she looks in the mirror right here, right? That yeah, this isn't perfect despite everything, right? That the mirror still exists. She still has to like look at herself, I suppose. She still has to be able to look at herself in the mirror, right? Um and all the problems that relate to that, right? That it's almost like the Amelia that we used to know, the Amelia that was around for so long before the experiences that she's had over these past few episodes, right? Yeah, she probably hated looking into the mirror. She hated thinking about herself, right? Anything like that. Um, and it's like what this makes me think too, because this Amelia having that same issue is like that would never be fixed. For example, if this unthinkable present was reality. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of meaning you can take from it. The other thing too, that's like the obvious, like big thing, is the reflection in Subaru's eyes, right? How it's like if Amelia is unable to look herself in the mirror, right, to see herself staring back at her, then it's like just the reflection of herself in Super's eyes. We've seen that several times, right? Obviously, the big one was just a few episodes ago when they had the long talk, right? Um, there's such a big part of that scene, right? And her seeing herself in Super's eyes and how different that is, how she doesn't flinch away from it, like she does with the mirror here, or like in the past, right? Ah, it's just so good. It's so good, right? How it's like that's the only time that she's been able to look herself in the mirror in a way and like be happy with it is through the reflection of another person's eyes, right? Like through the conclusion to this trial, right? Thinking about all that she's gained both for her own self-image and like who she even wants to be in the future because of all of these people that she has these connections to, you know. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. God, I feel like there must be there's so much you can take from the idea of her looking in the mirror and not liking what she sees beyond that even, right? Like it just feels like there's just an endless, like an endless number of things, right? Like her not having a reflection too, like she literally doesn't appear in the mirror. I mean, it's just like, even just in the context of just this being the trial, right? Like this not being her, like it's like she's back to not being able to see herself in the mirror, right? It's like if her being able to see herself in Subaru's eyes kind of cured that for her, well, yeah, it wouldn't be cured in this unthinkable present, Here's pedal geese. Just geese, I guess, at this moment, right? That title was never bestowed upon him. And off we go on a picnic. God, these two are so helpless. I love the way Amelia just like looks back and forth between them over and over again. Look at the way Fortuna is walking. Like, what is she doing? Like, like, get a grip, girl. Come on. Hmm. Everyone in the forest unfrozen. It's all just perfect and nice and awesome and great, right? It's also, God, like the landscape is so. Like, did anything like this even exist in or near the forest? Or is this just the perfect idealistic landscape that Amelia has dreamed up for the trial, Ah, it's so beautiful. It's so perfect. Hmm. Yeah, more reference to Amelia being like childish still, It's like she has the ability to be childish still in this universe. And they could have done it. Of course they could have done it, right? Fortuna-sama is tasked with a very important duty. If one such as myself were to stay with her and it led to rumors, I think it's too late for that though. Yeah, I mean like there already are rumors, and that's just the stupid reason. Like, I come on. The real reason you guys can't do it is because you're both dead. But like, let's ignore that, right? People of the forest won't think it's weird. I won't let anyone say it's a bad thing. God, like that line too just makes me think about like Amelia and her the fact that people think Amelia is weird, right? People say she's like a bad thing, all of that, how that relates to like Fortuna and Gisa's relationship in this sense, I don't know. Hmm. And she starts crying. It's so hard to face, right? It's so hard, right? Because I think everyone, it'd be so hard to face something like this in a way, right? This like idealized, like it'd just be so easy if everything could be like this, It'd be so nice. It'd be so great, And I don't think it would make Amelia less of a person. It doesn't make Amelia less of a person, obviously, that she wants this. And I don't think Amelia would be less of a person if this was a reality too, of course, right? Like, I guess the important thing for me is like Amelia has grown and changed because of like the struggle that she's faced, right? Of course, right? For a lot of people, that's how it is. But I don't think you have to grow and change through struggle, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with desiring this kind of reality. I don't even think it's naive, particularly, right? Like something like this could happen. This could be your life. And I don't think that's a bad thing, right? It just isn't, right? It just isn't. I don't think there's anything admirable about like struggle in and of itself, I guess is what I'm saying, right? I think there's anything wrong at all with Amelia craving this kind of thing, you know? I don't think it's yeah, yeah. Hmm. If only, right? So, Archie shows up to talk to her. Archie slash Echidna, whatever this thing is. A nice fit. Fortuna-sama is very harsh on herself. I wish she would give more thought to her own happiness. Kinda makes me think about, like, Amelia, right? Yeah, yeah, in a way. Like old Amelia, you know? Hmm. Having beheld an unthinkable present, do you not wish to live here? So this is very interesting. All of this is very interesting. Amelia's reasoning for not wanting to live here, and the effect that it has on Echidna, right? Echidna starts crying, right? And I guess my assumption is she starts crying because of because of Amelia's decision here, right? Like, I guess there's so much you could think is why Echidna has such a reaction to what Amelia says here. But let's read it all again, right? I'm sure you wanted the two of them to be happy. This is your ideal present, the future you wish for, right? The idea of the ideal present is, I think, something that has to be very relevant for Echidna as a character, right? Like, um, kind of her whole thing with wanting to use Subaru and use Return by Death, right? I guess she didn't really want to chase the ideal present. Like, kinda, right? She wanted to chase every possible present in a way, right? Because Echidna's whole thing is find all knowledge, right? And all of it, So I just wonder, like, is the idea of this rejection of this kind of ideal present, is that something that Echidna is so affected by, right? But like why? But like why though, right? Trinasama's already passed. It's unknown whether the bishop lives. She doesn't know that Petalgeese is dead, right? And the people of the forest have turned into ice statues. Your homeland is frozen. You were persecuted by people from the outside, and you had to say goodbye to a spirit who was like family to you. Here, you could live in happiness, but I don't know. It's such a fantasy, and it's like she can be happy either way, right? She can be happy despite those bad things happening, it's interesting to me. It's interesting that Echidna makes this argument, and that it feels like Echidna is so emotionally affected by this argument at the end, even, right? Because of what she said to Subaru, right? It's like when Subaru was saying the same thing. When Subaru is making a similar argument that he should be greedy for his future, basically, and pursue the best thing possible, right? Because like that's how you should view your future, right? You should always pursue the best ending for yourself. Like, why not? There's no harm in doing so. Um, as long as you don't kill yourself over and over again with turn by death. um, Echidna argued like against that, right? So it's just weird. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't understand Echidna's thoughts or feelings at all, right? Because we know she's been painted as such a villainous character. She's been painted so villainously and so is that even the right way to put it? Like, I'm just thinking of like last episode, a couple episodes ago, with her in the Roswell flashback, how her eyes are always hidden, how she seems so ominous, she seems so deceptive, but it's like, is that the truth of it? Is that the reality? I guess it's just impossible to know. We just don't know what's going on in her head, right? Hmm. Why do you wish for that future? I want to be an admirable person. Obviously, this isn't literally Echidna, right? This is Archie, right? This is like, I don't think these words are coming from Echidna's mind, I suppose, right? Because like what Archie just said to her, right? That's not something from Echidna, as far as I can think. Hmm. I want to be an admirable person. Like Mother Fortuna, my role model, like Geese, who's kind and strong, like Archie, who kept smiling until the very end so I wouldn't be scared. Like, such a small thing, such a good thing for him to have done? Like Puck, who always protected me and never left me alone. Like Ram, who wished to do the one thing that would be most helpful to the one most precious to her. Like Otokun, who does his very best for his friends. Like Garfield, who never once uttered a word of complaint. Like Subaru, who says he loves me and does reckless things even when he's all wounded and hurting. I'm so sad that there is no rim in there, right? Like, God, it's just like this sharp pain that I feel so often when I think about the fact that rim is just gone. It's just so awful. I want to look admirable to all of them. All of these people that have impacted her so much, that have made her who she is now, right? It's like she can't give all of that up. She wouldn't want to give all of that up, of course, right? From now on, I want to be the one reaching out to help someone. So I'll be fine. I'm not afraid of the outside world or of the future. Thank you for worrying about me. Hmm. You have no idea how crazy that made things for Punjana Sama and me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Our final goodbye to them. Thank you for showing this world to me, Echidna. I never thought I'd get to see the two of them, mother and geese, father, laughing together like that. Thank you. You. You disgust me. I just hate you so much. So what is this reaction? What is she reacting to right now, right? It's probably unknowable, right? I want to say it's just emotionally. I just can't help but think is it's like is Echidna much more emotionally tied to her own past and the way that things could have been, should be than we think, right? Like she seems so inhuman. She seems so villainous, right? She seems like a very bad magic user witch, right? That's how she's explained herself, right? But she seems so human in this moment, hating Amelia for this, hating her for what? Her acceptance of this, hating her for whatever her connection to Satella is, right? And whatever that means in relation to this, right? Like, like I just don't know. I just don't know, right? Is Amelia able to accept something like this and Echidna's unable to? That's why she hates her? Does Echidna think that she shouldn't accept this, right? What does it mean? What does it mean for Echidna? Could it just be as simple that Echidna yearns for the same like past that like Rosewall does, right? The same thing 400 years ago, right? But then how does that relate to this at all, right? What does that have to do? Why does she look at Amelia's decision, her ability to accept all of this, to thank her for seeing it even, right? And why would she react like this, right? I just don't know. I just don't know. It just feels very profound. It's certainly the most meaningful thing about her as a character I feel like we've ever seen. I just don't know what to think about it. There's just so many possible answers to it. And it's so intentional, right? That like Echidna's face is always hidden from us. She seems so enigmatic, so unclear what her real thoughts and feelings about anything are, right? Is it all a facade? Her calling herself so evil, her acting so maybe not even malicious, but just seemingly unfeeling and so manipulative and all of that. Is this all a facade? Is this all just a way that she acts because of something in her own past? Probably, right? I don't want to say she's just evil by nature or something. And that has to be whatever it is that's making her cry right now, right? Because it feels like Echidna has her own, like, Echidna's behavior is so through which she rejects like other people and their perspectives and everything so much, right? She does not view other people at all in the way that Amelia just like showed, right? Her viewing other people as others to be admired and to be admired in the eyes of, right? Echidna doesn't think of others like that at all, right? At least not now. So what happened, right? It's like was her relationship with Rosewall and Beatrice and all of that, Ryuzu, the sanctuary, was it all more real? Was that it, right? Was that all much more meaningful to her than I think? Would that have something to do with why she feels like this now? Maybe. Right? Does it all come to some kind of rejection of this very thing that Amelia is able to accept right now? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the third trial. Maybe the third trial will give us the answer. So Amelia thinks back to her reflection, right? Not being able to face it, not being able to face her reflection, right? Think back to this, which I forgot about this scene, or I forgot about this being like reflection. Her looking at her reflection back in the OVA, and yeah, her thinking about her own appearance, seeing how it makes others react, right? Yeah, Just how much have I been protected by others all this time? Because you haven't been protecting yourself, I suppose, in her mind, right? I wonder, I wonder. She jumps down, looks herself in the face for once, right? I love this, right? Well, look at that. I look less like Mother Fortuna than I thought. Because she doesn't, because I guess she doesn't like to look in mirrors, right? She doesn't like to face herself. She doesn't like to look at herself, right? But it also just makes me think it's like, look at that, Mother Fortuna. There's so much more to who you are and what's important to you than just this past as well, right? Than everything that happened with Mother Fortuna and Geese, you know. There's so many more people in your life, so many people who have made you who you are now than just them, right? It's like if you looked just like Mother Fortuna, if Mother Fortuna and Geese were really the two who were the only important people in your life, then you would stay here, right? But no, it's because of all these other people. You know, they mean more to you than this perfect fairy tale reality would, you know. Hmm. Able to see herself, right? It's such a it's a good step, right? It's I mean she can see herself in Subaru's eyes, sure, but she needs to be able to see herself in her own eyes, her own reflection as well, right? That's kind of the next step, right? I like this. I like this scene with all the people in the sanctuary, all the people from the village, right? Um, all of this, you know, it's this thing that back in the past it would be something that I think Amelia would react so badly to. I think it would be something she'd feel so much pressure. She would feel so like she'd be so I don't know. I can just imagine her voice and what it would sound like when she's talking to this big crowd of people who are all counting on her and all of this, you know. And it's the kind of thing that before she would react so negatively to. She would feel all this weight on her shoulders. She would feel so not helpless, but just this duty, you know. But instead of taking it like that, she takes it like, um, you know, they're all just hoping, they're all counting on her, they're all hoping for her, you know. They all, yeah, yeah. So it doesn't have to be weight on her shoulders. There doesn't have to be pressure, you know. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. And how other people, right? It's like, and I just love how it's like all of these people, their perception of her has changed some. Not, and it's not all because of her. It's not all because she, you know, like the faulty premise that she thought she had to just do better and be better in everyone's eyes in order for them to love her and stuff, right? No, it's because of other people that she's connected to, right? Like Garfield's attitude towards her was enough to change the sky, you know? Like it's yeah, yeah, it always comes back to that, right? Come through this trial in one piece and we can talk things over. Absolutely. When I heard him call you elder, it just surprised me. I guess she doesn't know anything about any of that, right? And off she goes to face the next trial. And yeah, Ram has her own job to do. They're fighting Rosewall over here. Oh, God. They better be successful. I certainly hope. I certainly hope. Man, it's so, like, it's so crazy thinking about all the moving pieces there are now compared to, like, season one. Early on in season one, back when the only issues would be so Subaru centric, because Subaru would always involve himself into everything, right? He would always make sure he was involved in every problem going on anywhere, right? But now there's so many moving pieces, there's so many different people doing different things, there's so much, you know, so much less weight on Subaru's shoulders, right? Obviously, it would be we saw in this arc that it's impossible for Subaru to handle all of this by himself, right? Just like it's impossible for Amelia to do the same, right? They all have their part to play. Face the disaster that is yet to come. Like that is such a line that to me it's like the disaster that is yet to come. That just makes it sound inevitable, you know, like something that is going to happen and you can't avoid it, right? An inevitable disaster is what it makes me think. Which is really scary. We talked about I guess, my fear of the future already. Happiness reflected on the water surface. That's so good, right? Or seeing herself like oh, that's such a good title. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. We've only talked about half the episode. That's not good. That isn't good, but we're doing our best. Anyway, back to the start of the episode. Garfield and Elsa fighting. Elsa is just terrifying, right? Like, what is she? She's so she seems invincible and immortal. I guess we know she can't be, right? I assume she can die. right? If it bleeds, it can die, I hope. Except, have we ever seen her bleed? I don't even know, right? But, like, I mean, Garfield does this crazy grind her face against the wall thing, and nothing happens. So, I don't know. To me, she just feels like an immovable object. She feels like a natural law of the universe is Elsa, right? I don't think there's any way we're gonna kill her. Like, I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. But maybe. Maybe we can tie her up somewhere. Who knows? Who knows? Frederica goes off to save Rem, of course, of course. I am the Bowel Hunter, Elsa Granhert. The strongest damn shield in the sanctuary, Garfield Tinsel, absolutely. So Subaru is here to talk to Beatrice, which, like, we've talked about Beatrice so much. She's so stubborn. She's so, oh, like, this is why I said I wish Subaru would just pick up Beatrice, throw her over his shoulder, and run out of the room, right? Except she wouldn't let him do that. She would blast them away with magic or something, right? Like, oh, God. But we have to go make her, like, do things. Like, this is the problem, right? This is the problem. Like Oshino, right? Like, you can only save yourself, right? She has to be willing to save herself, right? Like, she has to. She wants that person to be the person who magically shows up and saves her, despite her not caring about saving herself. And that is impossible, right? That cannot exist. Subaru can't be that person. If he says he's that person, then it just feeds into her whole thing, right? Then it'll just be a new person for her to find all of her meaning from. It'll just be a new person for her, like the book, like Echidna, like her mother, right? Like, it'll just be a new thing for her to find all meaning from a source other than her own actions and any meaning that she finds within herself, right? So Subaru can't be that person. That person can't exist. She has to be willing to change and live her life from somewhere within herself. And how do we convince her of that? How do you convince her of that? I have no idea. I don't know. What do we say to her? What do we say to her? Subaru just calls her a dumbass, which I don't disagree with that perspective, I guess, right? Like, I don't disagree with that strategy. It doesn't really work. What do we say? What do we do? How do we convince her? Did we make any progress at all, right? Maybe. I hope, right? I guess she didn't really let Subaru finish, right? Subaru just has to explain to her that if he becomes that person, it's like, what? That doesn't solve anything. All that does is kick the can down the road, right? Like, if the meaning of her life that she always finds is this external validation, this external meaning that she finds somewhere other than within herself, right? Then what's she gonna do when Subaru dies? If Subaru became that person for her, right? Just go back to this, go back to another few hundred years of isolation till another sucker walks up who she can find all of her meaning from, right? Like, that's stupid, right? That doesn't make any sense. But, like, what would Beatrice's reaction to that argument be? Just like more nihilism and more like, like, just say, oh, the book's empty, I can't do anything, sorry. Like, God, she frustrates me. She frustrates me. I feel so bad for her, right? Like, it's not her fault. I feel so bad for her, and I understand her a lot, right? She's faced more loss than I have in my life, that's for sure, right? Like, and it's like her nature of being a spirit too. Like, it's so this whole contract thing, right? Like, she has such low, like, self-worth in that sense, she views herself as a tool and as a, I can't help but wonder if a large part of that is her close relation with Echidna in the first place, right? But we know very little of what their relationship was actually like, I suppose. But even just being a spirit in and of itself, it'd be so hard to have, like, that kind of meaningful, like, self-actualization and self-worth in that sense, Ah, God. This time, you're gonna let me drag you out into the sunlight, and then we're gonna play until your dress is black with mud. That's what she needs. That's what she needs so badly. Like, mind your own business as she holds the book, right? Because she thinks, yeah, right? She can only do what the book says, which is nothing. No one asked you to do such a thing. We don't have time to argue about this. Do you have any idea what's happening outside? We're the intruder in the mansion, but won't be able to get to the library. But no, she can, because Roswell told her. That's how it is. It means my death was written in Roswell's tome of wisdom. So that means it must be it. It must be over. Yeah, why is that look on your face? Like this resignation, right? Like this, oh god, like just this sad little smile, right? Where it's like like imagine what she feels, right? That it's like she's felt like for so long that it's like she's been written out of history or written out of the present, that her existence is pointless and that there's nothing for her ever again. So there must be some small amount of happiness that she feels from the idea that she gets some part to play, even if that part is death, right? Then yeah, she's happy about it, which is just ridiculous, right? It's like, I mean, it's the end of her suffering too, I guess. My fate is already set in stone. Does that book of yours say to have to let that psycho kill you? It doesn't say anything. My fate is blank, as it always has been. And she perceives her fate being blank as her having nothing in her life at all, right? Like her having no future, right? Well, to me, it's like this is an optimistic thing to see. This is a good thing to see, right? Like we bring up this whole idea of Echidna having accidentally given her the wrong book, like whatever, right? I to me, my future being blank, like no, the message from that I would take is I can do with it what I want, right? I am free to decide my own future, right? There's nothing written down there because the pages haven't been filled out yet, because you haven't done anything. Start using it as a diary, Beatrice. Start writing down what you do in the book. Like, God, like, come on. Like, it's just so sad. It's so sad to me. Oh, God, do I really want to talk about this? Do I want to talk about this? I kind of do. It's sad to me because it reminds me of the way that a lot of people view, like, meaning in life and how many people think, how specific do I want to be? Many people think that your meaning in life has to come from like a religion or some kind of like ordained fate, like given meaning to you that you have to, that you only exist to fulfill all of that. That kind of thing to me is such a dark and sad and horrible way to think about things, right? Like if Beatrice's fate was written on this book, like if I had a book that told me my fate and what I would do in my life and everything, right? That would be the worst thing imaginable, right? Like, what is the point in life? What is the point in anything if you can't make your own decisions and decide your own fate, right? It's the opposite of sad or like meaningless to me, right? Like a lot of people think that the idea of that, if there isn't some kind of like ordained fate that you have or like meaning in life that has been given to you, then that means life inherently has to be meaningless. To me, it's the opposite because you get to make your own meaning. You get to decide what you want to do with your life, right? Like, I just wish so badly. I wish I could talk to Beatrice. Like, God. And I know I wouldn't be able to get through to her probably, right? I would try, I would do my best. And it's not like I have been in her shoes, right? Like, again, it's like I imagine facing this kind of loss, this kind of the all of the things that she's faced. That's what makes people go to that kind of thing in life, right? Like you face loss in your life, you face hardship. You want to tell yourself that all of this loss and hardship has to serve some kind of greater purpose, because then at least there's some kind of meaning to it that's leading you to something good, leading you to something greater, right? So I understand it being a comfort in that sense, right? But the problem is Beatrice doesn't even have that, right? Beatrice has faced all of this loss in her life, and she thinks it was all meaningless and pointless because her fate is still blank, and she thinks that means that she can't do anything, right? Like, God, man. Hmm. And what reason is there for you to end up the way Rosewall wants? Exactly, right? If it's blank, then why take that meaning from another person? Why then decide that what Rosewall wants for you must be the correct thing? If this book is supposed to show you your fate, and Rosewall's book is apparently also showing you that fate, why isn't that fate in your book as well, right? Like, it just literally doesn't make any sense, right? Like, God. Just decide what to do for yourself, like you've always done. When have I ever decided for myself before now? Yeah, she never makes her own decisions, right? She thinks everything that she's ever done has been decided by others, and it's like that's what she wants, right? The only meaning she's ever been able to find is as a tool, as a for the purpose of other people, right? And that's it, right? What has Beatrice done? As she looks through the empty book, right? You can start filling it out. Beatrice, start filling out the pages yourself with what you do, right? If it's empty right now, that's because you haven't been doing anything, right? So start doing things. Like, please, come on. God. My life is pure white, I suppose. It's completely blank. Well and truly. One book was really all I needed. And Beatrice, I'm sorry, girl, this is gonna sound mean, but that's your fault. Okay, like, God. No, this actually makes I didn't think this was gonna like affect me like this. It's just really, it's like you need to do things, but you have to make the decision. You aren't to go, it's not gonna be granted to you by another person. It's not gonna be granted to you by the mystical, magical fate that tells you what you're gonna do in life. It's not just gonna be handed to you by that person who can be the new one to give you all the meaning in life. You have to do it, right? Like, oh man. I hope this doesn't come across as like mean to Beatrice. I understand her struggle so much. I completely understand it, right? And again, it's like I'm saying all of this from a perspective that is probably much easier for me to have reached this conclusion than Beatrice, right? Like, would I be able to think like this if I went through all of the same stuff Beatrice has? I have no idea. I don't know, right? Like, I have the benefit of not being in her situation, so who knows? It's just as time passes, I think about many things. I worry and cease to believe. Yeah, yeah. She's like given up completely. And the more time has passed, the more she's given up, the more she's become set in her ways, right? It's this like self-fulfilling just spiral that just speeds up and goes down further and further. It's harder to climb out of the longer it's been, you know. There were so many nights when I couldn't remember Mother's smile, so I scraped all my memories together and tried to cling to them. Oh, God. There are even times when I was afraid to be alone and wanted to be with someone, but everyone leaves me behind. Mother on Rosewall and Ryuzu too. It's like she can't bring herself to form any connections because of that fear of abandonment, right? That's why she wants that person as well, right? Because they're that person who is fated to like not abandon her, to be everything for her, you know? Spirit Beatrice is fated to be alone and be left behind by everyone else forever. Like, how did you decide that? How did you decide that's your fate if the book is blank, right? Because that's what you've been doing. That's what your actions have led you to for the past 400 years, right? Feel a tiny bit relieved now, I suppose, because she'll die, right? Yeah, it's like she hasn't been left behind entirely, hasn't been forgotten. Ah, God. You're an idiot. You're just a big idiot. Right, sure, yeah. God, I think it makes sense that Subaru feels like this too, because it's like it feels so related to like his whole thing, his whole like discovering and thinking about his own value of his own life, right? Over the season for the most part, right? Ever since like the I Know Hell scene. And then everything after that, right? Like finding newfound meaning in his own life and all of this, right? Seeing someone like Beatrice be like this and act like this. It's like, God. 400 whole years. Why is something that extreme the only answer you could come up with? Isn't it possible your mother gave you the wrong book by mistake, or you're taking the wrong message from it, or you're just like, who cares? Burn the book, right? Like, I just, man. Do something, please, God. So you really believe that your mother gave you a blank book, and maybe she did, but maybe that's the message behind it, right? Maybe the message behind it is that she can decide her own fate, you know? What is it you want me to say? Okay, I'll come right out and say it, so your dumb mother can hear. Don't let a blank book and a 400-year-old verbal promise rule you forever. Choose what you want to do for yourself. Absolutely, right? It's been 400 years. That's more than enough time for you to have one rebellious phase. It's the same problem as like Rosewall, how the more time that has passed, the more she has defined herself by this. And it's like it's almost like the sunk cost fallacy, how it's like the more she's invested into this being her life, it's like it becomes harder and harder to change, you know? No matter what you say, I'm under a contract. The contract is absolute, which means yeah, backdoor in the contract, right? Like when she formed that contract with Subaru in season one, right? Yeah, yeah. If keeping a promise means you die, I'd rather break that promise and keep you alive. Exactly, right? Is it so weird that I would make that choice? Not at all. Not at all. Selfish way to think. Hmm. Refuse to compromise on something that's important to me. Yeah, yeah. You are that person. Would you be that person for me. No. Nope. No, there is no that person. There's no that person, and you shouldn't have that person, Beatrice. So, we're not done with this conversation, Beatrice. We're coming back. We're gonna like I'm gonna get mad all over again unless you get all this figured out. Okay, like I don't know. I don't know. God. Anyway, we got to deal with Melee. Um, I feel like Melee has to be easier to deal with than Elsa, right? Like surely, right? Like come on. There's no way she isn't. There's no way she's as big of a problem as Elsa, but maybe, right? So Frederica just drops out though. He just falls to the ground. Like it's like he falls like slowly too. He just suddenly like float. He's like a Looney Tunes character. He like floats there for a second, then drops. The order of priority suddenly became very clear. Yeah, women, children, elderly men, and then Oto. Right, right. And Rem. Ah, God, I miss Rem. I feel so bad about Rem. I just like. Ah. When are we ever gonna fix it with Rem? What even would be fixing it, right? Like, I do feel like an important thing for Subaru to face, an important thing that Subaru needs to face, I guess, is like, is Rem's memories never coming back, right? I imagine that they won't. I imagine, like, let's say we get Rem's like identity back or name back, whatever it was, and not her memories, right? So she wakes up, but she has no memory. She's like Amelia, right? She's like Amelia after waking up from the ash. She has no memories, no idea who she is, no idea anything, right? I think it would be an important thing for Subaru to be able to cope with that, I guess, right? The idea that that this is still Rem, it's just that Rem that he knew, is not really gone. It's not like this isn't Rem anymore, right? I don't know. I just think that'd be very meaningful in a way, right? Because Rem has been such a strong justification for him for so many things, you know? I don't know. I think it would be very interesting, right? Because I wonder, it's like, how would he react to that? How would he, like, if Rem woke up and didn't remember him, how would he feel, right? How would he try and put things back to the way they were, It would be impossible, right? It would be impossible, And he would need to be able to deal with that, right? I don't know. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Who knows? Who knows? Gotta deal with the giant crazy hippo thing and Melee. Which I just don't even, like, I don't get her, right? Like, I guess she's just another, like, assassin, basically, right? What is she? Is she really just, like, a child? Or, like, yay, I'm so glad. If you're really my friend, you could even let me go, that didn't work. That did not work, unfortunately. So Frederica's gonna handle it. Frederica's gonna handle it. I believe in her. She can do it, right? If Garth can handle Elsa, she can handle Frederica. I mean, she can handle Melee. I'm sure. I'm sure. So they are going off to Rose Walls for the escape route, which is that like the weird little passage that he found when it was in like it was in season 1 when he came to the mansion for the first time and found everyone dead and like Puck had like frozen the hallway and everything. But or was that in Amelia's room? Or was that in Rose Walls? I don't know. There was one of them, right? But there's that weird like passage, And Puck said like, "Oh, you were too late." Super like touched the doorknob, his fingers froze off. All that stuff happened. Maybe, probably. I don't know. But they gotta fight. What's it called? The Guilty Low. They gotta fight the Guilty Low. I bet Subaru can do it. Subaru has the Sloth Authority thing, right? The Witch Factor, or whatever it was called, right? The Unseen Fist. What did he call it again? Like Invisible Providence or some stupid, one of his stupid ass names, right? One of his stupid ass names is what he called it. Okay, we kind of did this episode backwards. We did the second scene, then the first scene, but I guess that's it, because we've talked about all this, right? Okay, okay. Didn't make as bad time as I thought. Didn't make as bad time as I thought. Probably because this whole Beatrice scene, I was just yelling at her. So we went through it fast, right? Okay, I guess that's it. God, I want to make the thumbnail, like, the scene of Amelia looking at herself. Oh, it's so good. That is such a good shot. I love that so much. Anyway, I suppose that is it. And then it's like in the ending too. It's like there's all the water and the reflections and all that, Feels even more meaningful, right? Yeah, yeah. Very good. Very nice. Very cool. Oh, and it's like, I mean, this is literally is a reflection in water, right? Yeah, yeah. Very cool. Very nice. Okay, I suppose that is it. So, if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I will see you in the next one.